So I refunded 2 people for the same exact candle. One said she couldn't smell it at all, the other said it was way too strong. Same candle, same batch, same wax, same oil, same everything. And that's when it clicked for me. I have put my candle in front of thousands of strangers at this point, and there's no version of this product that makes them all happy. There never was. So today, I'm walking you through the 5 complaints every candle maker probably gets, and exactly how to handle each one, including the complaint that turned out to be completely right and made my product better, the one where your reply cost more than the candle did, and the refund I did not agree with at all that ended up teaching me the most useful thing I have learned about who I'm actually selling to. So quick context, I'm Dominique, I run Zovia Fragrances, and I've been making hand-poured candles for the last few years. I've shipped over 1,000 orders, and I run paid ads, which means my product goes in front of cold strangers who have never heard of me at scale. And that last part matters more than you think. When you're selling to friends, family, and people who already follow you, everybody's nice. Everybody says they love it. You get a completely kind of like false read on your own product. Now you put that same candle in front of tens of thousands of strangers and you find out fast that not everybody is going to be pleased. And that's okay. And that's the whole point of this video. Now, before I respond to any complaint, I have to ask myself 2 questions. And that's the whole system. Question 1 is that person right? And 2, who else is going to read this? And that's it. 2 questions and they answer everything you are about to see. And I'll tell you right now, the second one matters more than the first one almost every single time. By the end of this video, you're gonna understand why. So the first one. A couple of people told me they could not smell my mini candle. This is my mini candle. My first instinct was, it's a mini. What did you expect if you're burning it in a large room? But I asked question 1, is this person right? So I sat with it and I asked a better question. Where were they burning it? And that was the answer. They were burning the mini in a large open room. That candle was never going to fill that space. It's not built for it. So they weren't wrong. I guess I was, right? Not about the candle, about what I told them, to expect from it. I realized I had to make up a change. Now every mini I ship comes with this piece of paper that tells them exactly how to burn it and where to burn it. Burn it in a bathroom, a small office, tight spaces, and that complaint made my product better because it cost me nothing but the willingness to hear it. Now, here's a quick lesson. Some complaints are free product development, so ask question 1 first, every time, because if the answer is yes, that complaint is worth more than the sale was. And this is partly why I built Burn Tested, because I was tracking all of this in my head and in random notes, and I kept losing the pattern. Now, when something like this comes in, it goes somewhere. So if you're interested in Burn Tested, it's free while it's in beta. The link is in the description if you want it. Anyway, second complaint. So this is the second one, and this is the flip side. That same mini candle, the one that person said they could not smell, somebody else told me it was way too strong. Same candle, same batch, and I'll be honest, I hated refunding that one because I had just gotten done solving the opposite problem, but I refunded her anyway. So run question 1 on that. Is that person right? Neither one of them actually was, and both of them were. And that is what makes Scent different from every other thing we sell. 2 people can smell the same candle and describe 2 completely different experiences. Some of that is the room, some of it is just what they are used to. Some of it is memory, because, a note that is comforting to one person reminds somebody else of a hospital. You can't argue a person into smelling something. It just doesn't work. It has never worked. So, quick lesson here, scent is an opinion, not a defect. And once you accept that, this gets easier. You stop reading every scent complaint as your verdict on your skill. Sometimes it's just a person and a candle not matching up. The reply can be short. I'm sorry it was not the match you were hoping for. Refunded. If you want to try something else, tell me what you do love and I'll point you kind of in the right direction. That last line leaves the door open without begging. Now, this is where question 2 takes over the video. The third one is the expensive one. This is a negative comment sitting under an ad or one of your social media posts, and actively hundreds and thousands of people are seeing this. Now, this is a different animal. You know, some people are just there to be negative. I've had people say they don't care that it's made by hand. I had people say that it's too small for the price. Now, here is where question 1 stops mattering and question 2 kind of takes over. Because you are paying money right now, this minute, to put that post in front of cold strangers. Your reply is not, customer service. Your reply is part of the ad. And this is where I watch brands, lose the room in one sentence. Somebody leaves a rude comment, the owner fires back, and now nobody is scrolling past reading the complaint. They're reading how the owner handles pressure. And that's the only thing they walk away with, is seeing that. So the lesson here is, you're writing to the audience, not the reviewer. So the rule is simple. Public reply, stay short, warm, and completely undefensive. Acknowledge it, take responsibility for the experience, move it to an email or DM. Never argue in the comments, ever. Something like this, I'm so sorry, that's not the experience I want you to have. Sending you a message right now so I can take care of it. That's 14 words, and every stranger reading it just learned something good about your brand for free. And I'll venture to say most makers have never heard this part. And one more thing on ad comments, because I feel like most makers throw this away. When somebody says they do not care that it's like handmade, that stings a little bit, but that's not just a hater. That is cold traffic telling you your handmade angle is not landing with that specific audience. And that's free market research from a person who owes you nothing, right? Read those comments a couple times, once with your feelings, then once with your marketing hat on. And if you're curious, I actually wrote a whole book on this campaign. It's called Cold to Sold. It's the full breakdown of the meta ads run that put my candles in front of all of these cold strangers in the first place, including the parts that did not work. So links down below if you want to check it out. Now, the last 2 are the hard ones, and they're actually the same story, told twice, because the next complaint is one I did not agree with at all. That is question 1, answered no. And I'm going to show you the reply I sat down and wrote in response to it. The one I never sent, that is question 2, and that is where this whole video lands. And that part is not flattering to me. I'm going to read it anyway. So here's the 4th one. A customer bought my mini candle and told me it was smaller than the sample size candle she had gotten at a dollar store, and she wanted her money back. No complaint about the scent, no complaint about the quality, no complaint about the burn, just the size measured against a dollar store candle. So, question 1, is this person right? I did not think so, not even close. And I want to be honest with you about that, because you probably would have had this exact reaction too. I refunded her anyway, same day. And here's the math that made this easy. The refund is one number. It happens once and it's finished. The argument is not one number. It's your time, it's the back and forth, it's the public thread that never comes down, it's the chargeback that takes the money anyway and adds a fee on top. It is every future customer who reads that exchange and quietly decides not to order. So the lesson here, the argument always costs more than the refund. A refund is a receipt. An argument is a subscription. So I approve it. Even when I do not agree, especially when I do not agree. And one of my, business idols, he always says, just refund it. If somebody asks for a refund, like they're not your customer, right? Just give it to them anyway. It's really not worth the fight, whether they're right or wrong. Refunds come far and few in between, so it's like just don't deal with it, right? And if you're interested in seeing all of my members only videos, and I'll also be doing members live sessions, so we can kind of help each other grow each other's business, check out my YouTube membership. Link is in the description for that as well. It's a small fee, but it helps the channel so I can keep growing and giving you more content that you guys appreciate. Now, here's the part I do not think anybody talks about. That dollar store one is the one that got me. And that's the one where I sat down and actually started writing a reply. And it went something like this. Do you understand what actually goes into this? I use natural wax, I blend complex fragrances, I test it until it's right, I pour every single one of these by hand at night after a full day of work, and you're comparing it to a candle that costs $1? Now, I never sent it, but I wrote it, and if you're being honest with yourself, you probably would have written one too. And here's where both questions finally collide. Question 1, was I right? Yes. Every line of that was true. Question 2, who else is going to read it? And that is the answer. That's the one answer that ever mattered. So remember, being right is not the same as being smart. And I want to say this clearly because I think makers need to hear it. Like, it hurts. Of course it hurts. You know, you gave everything that you had to that product. You're not a factory. You poured it with your own hands, and someone just told you and the entire internet that it wasn't good enough. And here's the thing, like, feeling that doesn't make you unprofessional. It makes you somebody who cares about what they made. Acting on it is the part that costs you money. So here's my policy, plain and simple. If somebody wants a refund, they get a refund. I don't investigate. I do not ask them to ship it back. I do not make them explain themselves, not because I'm being soft, because I did the math. The refund is the cheapest possible ending to that story. Every other ending costs more, every single one. And something else happens when you refund fast and without friction. The person who was upset 2 minutes ago starts telling people, you know, you handled it well. And trust me, that's not theory. Refunded customers come back and order again at full price sometimes. So here's kind of what I want you to take with you out of this video. It's kind of a mindset shift, right? A refund is not a loss. A refund is information. A refund is a qualification event. So go back to that dollar store customer for a second. She told me something genuinely useful, and it had nothing to do with the candle. She told me for her, the deciding factor was price and size. That is what she was shopping on. And there's nothing wrong with that. Most people shop that way, and I have shopped that way plenty of times myself, but it's not what I built my business on. You know, my candles are not the cheapest ones out there. You know, the natural wax, the complex fragrances, and everything I have going into every single one, that costs more, and that shows up in the price, and it always will. So I just say we were never a fit. Not necessarily a bad customer, she was somebody else's customer. And here is the business side of that. Once somebody tells you that they are not your buyer, you stop spending more money trying to reach them again. Stop retargeting them. You stop paying to put your product back in front of a person who already told you no. So one refund told me exactly not where to point my ad spend. For what that information is worth, it was cheap. Grace is not weakness. Grace is the lowest cost option on the table, and it happens to be the right thing to do. So if you're building a candle or car diffuser business and you're trying to figure out pricing, sourcing, and scaling without losing your shirt, my free roadmap at zoviafragrance.com/pages/roadmap is what I wish somebody had handed me when I started. You know, the link for that is also in the description. And I'd love to hear from you. Tell me about a complaint that you got that turned out to be right, and what changed because of it. I really want to read those, and to let everybody know, hey, we're not all alone in this. You know, everybody is in this together. But please like, subscribe if this video was useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys.